Holy fucking shit, we're back. Episode
Yeah.
31.
Long time, 10,000 years.
Episode 31. We're still in the 13th day of UBW.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
We're
Wait.
going to be here for a long time.
I don't know how loud my mic is. Last episode it was really low. So I'm gonna try to see how. I'm just gonna test the fuck. Whatever. I'm monitoring the audio to see if it isn't super low this time. Hopefully it isn't, so that people can actually hear what I'm saying. And I'm gonna raise the volume of the game a little bit too, because that was low last time. Yeah, the music was a little low. So as a reminder, I remember what we were doing last time. We made our alliance with Lancer.
Yep.
Yes.
And we're now trying to think of what we're gonna do, because
Yes.
Kotomine is apparently missing.
Which is weird because if Kotomine is missing, what the heck is going on with Lancer?
Berserker's dead. And Caster is still in control of the situation. So we walk through the dark forest. Although we don't know his intentions.
You with Shinji? I don't remember.
We didn't. Shinji and Gilgamesh went away.
Yes.
They left. And after that, we made our alliance with Lancer. I think Gilgamesh just didn't think we were worth dealing with at the time.
Yes.
Which really is a classic Gilgamesh thing of negligencing his tactical advantage just because he doesn't give a fuck.
Man, Gilgamesh and his classic drip.
We walk through. Sorry. We walk through the dark forest. Although we don't know his intentions, having Lancer's help means we don't have to stay at the castle anymore. Lancer must have taken a liking to Tosaka, as he keeps messing with her and getting hit by her.
ちょっとあんたね、ちゃんと自分のマスターがいるんでしょ？ならおとなしくしてなさいよ。キャスターを倒したら敵同士になるんだし、話なんかしてもしょうがないでしょ？作戦会議以外はみんな無駄口よ、無駄口。
なんだ、敵になるからって話はなしか？見かけによらず余裕がないんだな。相手が仇であろうと、気が合うなら膝交えて語り明かすってのが情だろうに。
いつの時代の人間よ、あんた。そういうね、明日には殺すけど今日は親友だなんてのは今時流行らないの。やるとなったら徹底してやらないと相手にも失礼じゃない。
Sir, he's from a very long time ago, Tosaka.
はあ、
Oh yes.
そりゃまたつまんねえ世の中になったもんだ。
Lancer does not learn his lesson. I think they've been repeating the same kind of conversation for a while now.
それよりランサー、自分の役割きちっと分かってるんでしょうね。
It's the Lancer.
ああ、梅雨払いは任せろ。
Wield the lands.
お前たち二人でキャスターとそのマスターと戦うんだろ？俺の役目はアーチャーの相手だ。
They're taking a pretty big bet. I mean, two normal people versus Caster plus Suzuki.
Yeah, that sounds like a stupid idea.
最悪セーバーもどうにかしなくちゃならんが、まあ、抑えるだけなら問題ない。
Don't worry, they have a plan.
They have a plan. God knows what the heck is that plan, but there is a plan.
He speaks objectively. He isn't even scared of fighting Saber and Archer at the same time. He should be, because Saber has a higher luck stat than is required to get hit by Gay Bolga. Which she did.
I guess.
And she also didn't die. So.
Oh yes, I guess that he's slightly confident because he thinks Saber will be still resisting, and that he can beat Archer by himself.
I mean, if he can land Gay Bolga on Archer, I think Archer doesn't have high enough of a luck stat. Yeah, he has E luck, so he can land Gay Bolga pretty easily.
There is also the fact that there is a problem that if they are found approaching, Archer can just throw his missile at them and they just pretty much just die.
Yep. Well, we'll find
which
it.
is not exactly good. But anyway,
Oh yeah, Saber commented on him when we were training in the dojo. She said that Lancer is the best when it comes to surviving. She praised him, saying that with his excellent agility and great experience, Lancer would be an impregnable wall if he went into defense. He must have fought many battles from disadvantageous positions when he was alive. He sure did. If you guys know the history of Kotomine, he famously, one of his last achievements was to defeat the entire Ulster army while tied to a pole on the battlefield because he had taken such a beating from already defeating like half of the Ulster army while he wasn't tied to a pole that he needed support from his back to stay standing. So my man was dedicated. Very survivable.
I know that being an Irish person is that enough itself. Already being an underdog by birth, because goddammit, the English are your neighbors. But wow,
Yeah. Colin's story is fucking amazing. You guys should give it a read. There's some incredible, badass action moments.
probably. Anyway,
this man ran through fatal battles like a panther and lived on.
それはいいけどな。敵はアーチャーとセイバーだけじゃない。
That is true.
キャスターの下にはアサシ
I mean, they have to find a way to break through Assassin.
最悪あんたの相手は3人ってことになるぞ。
I don't know if Assassin is exactly a challenge for Lancer, because Assassin is just a fake server.
Oh, Lancer did put Saber in check, so he's got something going on. Maybe Lancer could throw the I don't know if this is a spoiler. He could throw the spear at Assassin, and maybe that would work. But we'll figure.
How much the
figure that out.
has?
Sorry?
What is the luck of Assassin?
That's a good question. Assassin has luck A, so he does.
Oh.
He survives
Okay, yeah.
normal Gay Bolga. Does he survive the other one? I don't know.
I think it would be.
あの野郎は苦手だ。できれば1対1でもやり合いたかね。
Kill a guy from a distance, because if he comes in, he's fucked. Because the blade surface area is pretty.
Yes.
Lancer can defeat Archer, but I think the caster and assassin will be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very honest. It feels like a very stupid idea to just charge in a group of
It is.
4.
I mean, to be fair though, they don't really have many other options. They're gonna plan this out. This isn't like a full stupid assault, but they really don't have anything else that they can do. So.
God damn it! At least try to slowly say, "Hey, Gilgamesh, there's a dude in the goddamn churches. She's going to do something. Kill them." Do something along those lines.
I mean, they've moved back to the temple, I think, at this point. Oh no, they're still in the church. That's right. So I guess Assassin does have. If Assassin was moved from the temple, which he might not have been, he's lost the height advantage and the funnel advantage of the staircase. Because that's really what the big problem, right? You can't outmaneuver Assassin in the temple because you can't leave the stairs, and he's got the higher ground. If he hasn't been moved from the stairs, then he's a non-issue. If he has been moved from the stairs to the church, he doesn't have the mobility advantage anymore. So maybe he's going to be less of a problem.
But then he has his luck.
He
and
does.
Archer beside him, Archer who can already fight pretty much on par with Lancer's abilities, even though in a losing battle, and at the same time can do a healthy damage from far away.
Boomer, what Archer can do against Gabogan?
Archer can't do shit against Gabolga. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He can do it. But at the same time, Lancer only has one lance. There are 2 of them, and the other one can pretty much do some big damage.
We
against
so
having
we have to bank on the possibility that Assassin hasn't been moved, which might
or
be beyond his
that
control, because he has
or we
mentioned
can
before
have
that he's been assigned specifically to guard the stairs, and we know that they have to go
maybe
back to the temple to get the Grail going, because that's the summoning grounds.
maybe they can actually, ironically enough, go sneak you in assassin, kill assassin in the case he's guarding the temple, no, the temple or the church, and then engage against Lancer if Saber is not mind controlled, or then have Lancer pretty much hold off Archer and Saber. Meanwhile, Tosakarin and Shiro will have to kill a servant and her master. Oh god, that sounds
Well, we'll find out what happens.
stupid.
アサシンは
Let's think
教
about
会
the
には
best,
現れない。
best
Okay,
scenario.
so maybe
Let's think
maybe
about the best scenario.
yeah.
Maybe we can find, I don't know why, but we can fight Archer first, and Lancer can defeat him fast.
But then we are still counting on the fact that one, Saber will not be controlled yet. Two,
Yeah,
Rin and Shiro can
if
take
she
on
is,
a
we are.
servant and her master in hand to hand.
Well, this
If
is
she
this
is,
is this
then
is
the chance.
the best case scenario. Saber isn't controlled.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Don't
Because
worry.
she-
I don't want to say much, but they do have a plan in place.
Shiro's about to go Super Saiyan probably because
But yeah,
Yeah, I
assassin
think that's
is a non-issue. We can trust Lancer's scout work because that's all he fucking does.
yes.
It's the
But
only
what
thing he
is he
does
gonna
is
do
watching
against
people.
the Maybe can beat Archer. Say that he beats Archer. But then here's Caster and
If they can, also it's good reminding ourselves that if they take out Kudzuki, then Caster is a non-issue. So
But
true.
that sounds really
That's a big if.
Sounds really easy. Yeah, that is a big if, and
That's a
that's
big
not
if.
exactly an easy if to realize because goddammit, he's pretty
Yeah,
much
he's.
under the protection of Caster.
But we'll see.
He's going. Damn it, he's going Super
どうして
Saiyan
そう断
on
言できるのよ
Saber because of
キャスター
Caster.
が竜道寺に戻らないなら門番として
maybe they
ア
can
サシンだ
get
って呼び
the
戻すんじゃない
plot
の
armor.
Yeah.
い
We are
や、
gonna need
ア
it.
サシンはキャスターが呼び出したサーバントだが、それゆえに制約がある。奴はあの場所そのものに呼び出された英霊だ。竜道寺を離れることはできんし。
Well, the
何よりキャ
magic
スターが
of
呼び戻さんだろ。
being a fucking shitty ass, right? Quote unquote heroic, quote unquote spirit.
あれは
Breaking the rules has its
マ
problems.
スターに黙って独断で召喚したサーバントだ。マスターが教会にいる以上は隠し通すし、
There's a problem.
おいそれと竜道寺を手放すこともできまい。
Yeah, she can't let go of the temple because the Grail needs to be summoned there. That's the summoning ground. So she's gonna have to go back there at some point.
Oh,
竜
yeah,
道
and
寺を
another
手放
thing.
せない。
Okay.
それってつまり
Now it's in my mind something that Lancer has been going on this pretty much scout role. Of course for Kotomine because goddammit, it's always Kotomine.
Yep.
What is Kotomine plan?
Oh, I guess his plan is just letting people deal with the big problem first, and then coming in to take the prize. I think his idea is either reducing the number of opponents he needs to fight to the maximum extent possible without damaging his own safety, or hopefully killing every other servant in the process, which isn't necessarily what the guys have in mind because they need to win, or but hopefully doing that so that he just doesn't have to do any work himself. Hunkering down.
Just imagine appears as all the fight that will happen. I don't know. Imagine.
He's also getting some prime time information on the tactics and the abilities of both Shiro and Jin. So it's pretty fruitful for the next step.
Didn't he already know? Didn't he pretty much train Rin on magic stuff?
Oh yeah, but in terms of how they're
I found
engaging
it
with the
weird.
war and what their plans are. You can just pull Lancer
I
out
guess.
if he wants to.
I guess.
聖杯の召喚場所があの山だからだろうな。知っているか？聖杯戦争は今回で5回目だが、聖杯が呼び出される土地は4カ所ある。ちなみに3回目の召喚場所は教会だったらしい。4回目はどこぞの平地だったそうだ。
In a plane somewhere.
へえ、戦ってれば幸せみたいな人だと思っ
How
たけ
it
ど。
was someone
Another thing that Urobuchi got wrong, by the way. So
単にマスターが小難しいやつなだけだ。
I mean, I guess
お
not
前たち
really,
の
but
事情に関心があるわけじゃない。
けどそっか。じゃあ今回の召喚場所って1回目と同じ場所に戻ったってことなのね。
Osaka starts to ponder. Lancer watches her with delight and walks on in the dark forest. The date has already changed. The day should be dawning by the time we get out of this forest. I mentally prepare myself as I walk. We will fight Castor again in a few hours. I won't hesitate, even if that girl would have turned into our enemy by then. We'll defeat Castor. I have to tell myself that it is the most important thing right now. We head to the battlefield. No matter what may be awaiting us at the church at daybreak, we cannot stop now. We're gonna get
That's
the date
true.
change.
But this
We
is...
got the date change. They forgot to do it in the fate route. Do you guys remember that? When in the day 11 of the day route of the fate route, they changed the day, but they didn't change the date. It was really weird. It was like 2 days in one. Super scuffed Nasu hours, bro.
Of course.
Kinoid soundtrack moment. Let's go!
It's time for the interlude.
Actually, let me check. I wonder what version of the soundtrack I have on. Oh, they're all the remixes, except for that one track. Deep Slumber, that's the name. That's the original game version, but whatever. Before that, there's just one more conversation. Just as they exit the forest and when the sky is beginning to lighten up, before they go to the church, she informs him of the fact that she has kept hidden.
今のうちに言っておくけど、シロが返してくれたペンダントね。
But how does that work?
一つしかないものなの。
She does not tell him what that means, and he does not inquire about it. It is because such matters are unnecessary when they are about to face their greatest enemy, Castor. The one and only pendant, the one he found in her room and returned to her, the one he found on that night and put on his desk. Now is not the time to ask about the
言っ
contradiction.
ておかなくちゃいけないのはそれだけよ。シロが私の部屋で見つけたペンダントって、あーちゃんに返してもらったものなんだ。
Which is impossible.
シロが
Paradox.
ランサーに刺されたあの日にね。私はてっきりあいつが拾ってきてく
Wait,
れたものだと
why?
思ってたけど。
Because Shiro had the pendant that she dropped in the school, but Archer gave her
This is-
another one that was the same. But there's only one,
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
so it's a paradox. It's impossible. Decisive battle is near. The tall church can be seen in the horizon.
Wasn't it supposed to be a small church?
It's pretty big. Osaka says she wants to confirm one last time. Our roles are already set. Lancer will draw Archer and Saber away from Castor. We will use that opening to attack her. Lancer asks ironically if we would be able to beat her by ourselves. To that,
まあね。私とキャスターを1対1にしてもらえれば、まず裏
fucking
をか
love
け
it.
ると思う。
Tosaka
What the
answers
heck?
with confidence.
She's
Beast.
going to die. She's
Beast.
going to die.
I don't know what she means by outwitting her.
Really?
Rina's a very smart woman. She's got something figured out.
Hey, she's
But,
she's
say
smart,
the truth.
but when she's dumb, she's horrendously dumb.
She didn't tell us even
Just
when
say
we.
the
Oh,
I
sorry.
think the ring can buy some time.
She can buy some time,
Just
definitely.
a little. Yeah, she can.
She didn't tell us even when we asked, so it must be a plan that will have a
Yeah, so-
lower success rate if we know about it. It's the famous quantum plan. If you perceive it, it fails. If you don't, it doesn't. then what I need to do
Oh, yeah.
is fulfill Tosaka's demand. With all my might, I will keep Kudzuki from protecting Caster. If I need them, I will project his swords as many times as necessary, and then he's gonna fucking die, dude.
He's going to become Super Saiyan. Let's go.
I close my eyes and dive inside myself. The magic circuit inside of me is stable. Magic beyond one's ability will destroy the caster. Half my body became numb the first time. It was easy and nothing happened to me the second time. There's no guarantee the third time will be the same, but I don't think it's a problem to project his swords. My body is stable. The magic circuit that was hard even to construct is easily activated now. It's like there's a fake nerve behind my real nerves, and they are reversible with the push of a button. I'm trying to convince myself that it's because I've gotten used to it. I can easily prepare the swords. Projection has become my primary weapon. It's a big improvement over 10 days ago. It's not my only magic. It's not only my magic. My sword technique has improved as well. The reason behind it... No, I try not to think about the reason. It's more important to beat Caster and take back Saber. Asking myself stupid questions can come after the battle. This headache gets stronger as I get near the church. It's just like when I was looking for Tosaka, but I avoid thinking about that. It's time, guys. See, it's pretty big. You gotta remember that this is like half monastery too, because Kotomine lives here. Like underneath the church, there's like a fancy-ass house. So, the morning light is gray.
There is a lot more than just a house underneath the church, but anyway.
True. The sun is blocked off by clouds, obscuring the dawn's brightness. The sky above is gloomy. The sky is more gray than black, and it reminds me of that time 10 years ago. It should rain soon. An impure gray sky. Beneath it stands that man.
Holy shit. Oh, it's the best scenario!
He stares at her with cool eyes. Tosaka doesn't say anything and stares back at him. It is the best scenario. Assassin isn't here, as we predicted, as Lancer.
And Saber has not shown up yet.
There certainly is a plan. A meeting of gods.
数日と経たずに新しいサーバントと契約したか。やれやれ。私もそうだが、君の移り気もなく。
Okay, pause over. This was a moment.
構わないわしろ。あいつの挑発になんか乗らないで。
She stops me, still staring at Archer, but it's obvious looking at her face. She knows he's baiting her, but his words still hurt.
前から気に食わねえ野郎だと思っていたな。てめえ、少年から腐っているようだな。
ほう。裏切りは勘に触るか、ランサー。自分が裏切られたわけでもないのに、律儀な。
Okay, what happened to Kukuchulain?
別にお嬢ちゃんに語りすぎはねえよ。
He did fight his best friend. His best friend betrayed him for the enemy army. It was the last fight in his life.
単にてめえみたいなサーバントがいるってことが気に食わねえだけだ。
英雄の誇りか。まったく。どいつもこいつも同じようなことばかりを口にする。
Wait, the music might be a little too loud.
あのキャスターでさえ、そんなくだらないものを持っていてな。死した身で今さら。正直。私には君たちの考えが理解できんよ。
ああ、しなくていいぜ。
Oh, you serious?
考える手間を省いてやる。
There's no more need for words. All that remains is the intent to kill. With Lancers sharp and Archers calm, they are about 10 meters apart. The confrontation of the knights in blue and red is just like that night. Tosaka calls out to the blue back.
And then Lancer will die, because he always dies off screen.
I'll go easy on him. He speaks without turning, grinning at Archer.
ありがとう。助力に来てくれたのがあなたでよかった。
We go around the two as we head to the church. The guard Archer lets us go through unchallenged. No, he has to let us through. Archer is already confronting Lancer. Lancer will pierce him if he lets us distract him. He can either attack us and leave himself open, or he can fight Lancer and let us go. If he really is guarding the place, the choice should be obvious. We run around the courtyard and open the door to the church without hesitation. Behind us.
まったく面倒なことになっちまったな。
何がだランサー。
いや何、あんな顔で礼を言われた日にはそういうの困るだろ。おいそれと主を裏切れない身としちゃ少しばかり眩しいってもんだ。
So we are
随
against
分
him
と甘いの
their
だね、
fight.
ランサー。君は隣の芝
Or
生
will
は青
they
いという
just
言
skip
葉
it?
を知っているか。
何言ってやがる。なもん俺が知ってるわけねえだろうが。
Holy shit.
Kino.
ゆうちゃんにやってる時間はないわ。
I hate
ランサーがアーチャーに決着をつける前に
I think
キャ
we're.
スターを倒す
I don't
わ
know if we have an intermission on this fight. We might. I think we do. But
We might?
we might.
Okay.
I don't remember.
分かってる。ここから無駄口はなしだ。それと、本当にキャスターを任せていいんだな、トサカ。
Don't worry. It's gonna work.
ええ、とことんまで追い詰められるだろうけど、それでも手は出さないで。シローは久月先生をできるだけ引き離してくれればいい。
Can do. We go past the main area and head to the door leading to the courtyard. I won't hesitate if Tosaka says so. But I don't know if it's possible for me to back Tosaka up even if she's covered. She's cornered. My opponent is Kutsuki. I won't be able to dodge his attacks if I'm paying attention to Tosaka. Castor's presence is getting closer. The church is filled with her magical energy as she must not be hiding her powers anymore. I bet she already knows about our raid.
トレース、オン。
Oh yeah.
I carefully knit together the illusion using 8 steps. I'm getting the hang of it. His swords are in my hands within a minute. Feel a light headache. Even though I'm getting used to it, it takes a toll on my body. Projection is damaging to my body deeper than I realize. Was it my imagination? I think Tosaka hung her head for a second. We go down through the darkness. We run down the stairs and come out into an open area. And after that, we jump down into the temple like I did before.
あら、飛び降りてくるなんてまるで猿ね。
Oh my god.
何を急いでいるのだか知らないけど、人間なんだから階段ぐらいは使いなさい。
We land in the temple. This was supposed to be a surprise attack, but Castor greets us with composure. Kutsuki Soichiro is standing next to Castor. I don't feel any enmity or bloodlust from him. That's his battle posture. His clear, murderous intent is hiding the scariness of that man. In that regard, he's more like an assassin than servant assassin. Saber is on top of the altar. She's just like she was 2 days ago. Saber hangs there, her head bowed. I'm relieved we made it, but on the other hand, I'm worried about why she's so quiet. I think Saber was in pain before. She was shivering and gasping, resisting Castor's magic with all her might, but she's dead silent now. I have a bad feeling about this. It's great that Assassin's not here, but if this bad feeling comes true, we won't get out of here alive.
来たわよ、キャスター。いろいろ考えたんだけど、やっぱりあなたには消えてもらうことにしたわ。
Oh.
目障りだし邪魔だし煩わしいし、何よりその格好が気に食わないのよね。今時紫のローブなんてどこの田舎者よって感じでさ。
Damn.
Can Shiro take on Kuzuka?
I guess we're gonna find out. The answer is a very strong, maybe? I don't think so.
Maybe.
Very strong.
Tosaka,
Maybe he will not die.
Tosaka insults Caster, hoping to break her composure. She slowly closes the distance between them as she talks, radiating confidence she probably doesn't feel. I shouldn't be concerned about Saber either. Tosaka is facing Caster by going counterclockwise, so I walk clockwise. Caster and Kudzuki. If we are to separate them, we have to attack them from different sides and isolate our enemies.
見逃してもらった分際で随分と勘違いをしたようね。今時の魔術師は皆こうイノシシ頭なのかしら。これではアーチャーが見限るのも当然ね。
Tosaka's insults must have worked as Caster is glaring at her. I move while she does so. I move to the other side of Tosaka to a place where I can attack Caster from behind. Kudzuki watches me in silence.
Just a question. Have we already discovered who Caster is?
Not the party, no.
No, but as an audience.
The players.
Yeah.
I think we have, yeah, through her. Oh no, Archer said it. Archer said it, and we saw her flashback. So.
Is her character easily?
She is definitely a very, very spicy woman.
Because that would make sense why she just got pissed at Rin because Tosaka said that she looked fat in her dress.
Yeah, no, her patience for dealing with people's bullshit expired a very long time ago. I thought so. There is no way that this man would not notice our trick. Kudzuki knows what's going on, that we are trying to isolate our enemies and that Tosaka has some sort of plan. Even with that in mind, he's letting Caster do as she wishes. It's not that Kudzuki is controlled by Caster, he's acting on his own free will. But still, his passivity is like that of a puppet. A servant skilled in magic is the backup, and a master skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Their roles are reversed, and I think their natures are reversed as well. Caster seeks the Holy Grail frantically, while the master protects her without question. Sword and shield. That makes me think, what if Caster was the master and Kudzuki was the servant who protected her? Maybe they wouldn't have fallen so low if that were the case. Tosaka glances at me. It means our positions are perfect. Then the match will be settled when either one of us attacks. Doesn't matter if we get defeated or if Tosaka beats Caster before that, our fight will end right here.
それじゃあ始めましょうか。あなたとの小競り合いもこれで3度目。いい加減ここで型をつけてあげる。
Tosaka takes a step towards Caster.
大きく出たわね。まさかとは思うけど、本気で私に勝てると思っているの？だとしたら腕比べどころの話じゃないわ。今回も見逃してあげるから、まずその少年を直してらっしゃいな。
そんなの勝てるに決まってるじゃない。だってそうでしょ？あなたみたいな三流魔術師に一流である私が負けるはずないんだもの。
Damn, dude.
そう。なら仕方がないわ。その増長、厳しくしつける必要があるよね、お嬢さん。
They get ready at the same time. With a few meters between them, they act like mirror images. That's the signal. I attack the defenseless Caster. Yeah, there you go. And of course, I'm stopped by Kudzuki. The ghost-like assassin is in front of me. I can't spare any attention for Caster and Tosaka's fight. He knows what I intend to do. He will not let me buy time. Letting out the snake that even cornered Saber, Kudzuki Soichiro comes to take my life. I can hold him off for a minute at most. It should be the same for Tosaka. But originally, with our opponents reversed, we had no chance of victory. Close-ranged fighting or magic, we have no way to beat our opponents who surpass us in skill. But looking at it the other way, we can at least put up a fight. Tosaka would be killed in an instant if she fought Kudzuki. I would be killed in an instant if I fought Caster. In contrast, we might not be able to win, but we won't be killed in an instant with this matchup. So in other words, this battle is not about how to beat one's opponent. Instead, this is a contest to see how long we can hold off an opponent of superior skill.
Hold off? Waiting for what?
For the man, the myth, the legend, maybe.
Or a miracle.
We're holding out for a hero till the end of the fight. The two weapons clash.
Right.
Twin swords and lance. The attacks are executed to take their wielders' necks. There's no hesitation in those attacks. Each strike is meant to kill. Even Lancer makes no exceptions. Even though he told Tosakarin, his ally, that he would go easy, that becomes secondary once the battle starts. It merely means that if his lance happens to miss Archer's heart, if it does not kill him instantly, he will refrain from finishing Archer off on the spot. Even in that case, his enemy will die in due time, but Lancer just needs to drag him to Tosakarin before that happens. Lancer does not care what happens after that. The red demonic lance invades the enemy territory. The lance breaks through
Unlimited.
Archer's defense each time it is thrust.
Unlimited, I have a question.
Hi.
Was this fight cool in the anime?
Yes, was. I remember it vaguely, but
I think it was a little short
In my-
in the anime.
it was. It was. It was.
It's one of those. It's one of the
Damn it.
UBW anime servant fights, where they're like super fast and you don't really see what's happening, but it did happen. I think it was at night though in the anime.
But I like it.
So the lighting was
the
a little weird.
final. The final of this fight, I like it.
Yeah. It's not like that. It's not like that night. Archer cannot block Lancer's attacks now as he could then. It is only natural. This is their second battle. Lancer was under the command spell's bind. To learn his enemy's strengths, his master told Lancer.
お前は全員と戦い。だが倒すな。一度目の相手からは必ず生還しろ。
Oh.
That is the only
Who was,
order he was given.
Zevlen, who was the
What?
who was the Kotomine master?
Oh, it was Kide. Yeah, last time we figured that out.
No, sorry, sorry if I felt like when he was alive, you know.
Oh, he learned under Skaha, the
Oh, okay.
the Scottish woman.
The purple servant.
Yes, the one from FGO. He has followed such an unreasonable command, and this is his first battle without any binds. Therefore, it cannot be like the last battle. There is nothing biting Lancer, and Archer is now forced to fight the fastest heroic spirit. A strained voice escapes Archer's mouth. Even his hawk-like eyes cannot follow Lancer's spear. The lance's movement is a point to start with, and it is a flash of light now. He cannot discern the lance coming at him. Even Lancer's movements are becoming invisible now. He has been unable to block such attacks until now because he had experienced them in a previous battle. He is doing what he can, using his inferiority as a weapon to block Lancer's furious onslaught. He is controlling where the attacks come. The Knight in Red limits the oncoming attacks by leaving fatal openings. Of course, he will die if he doesn't dodge those attacks, but if he can choose between instant death and getting slowly cut up, he prefers to risk instant death. Otherwise, it will all have been for nothing. Fortunately, Lancer has still taken Archer lightly, or rather, he is lost in the joy of battle. If they are to keep on assaulting each other like this, he can think of another 30 ways to show an opening. Prediction using the information obtained, planning using cultivated battle experience. Those are the nerves of steel, the mind's eye that one obtains through training. This is nothing extraordinary. This is the only skill he possesses. It is not innate like Saber's instinct, but it is a simple weapon that anyone can gain through hard work. Cool. Lancer backs off and stops for a bit. He looks the red Archer over, as though dissatisfied. It is obvious who is going to win. Archer has no chance of victory in hand-to-hand combat. That has been obvious from the start. If Archer is an archer like his name states, this cannot be a match unless he's shooting from a long range. But still, he blocked the attacks. He is inferior and should not last more than a few blows, but he blocked Lancer's full forced strikes. Is Archer strong, or is Lancer going easy on him? He laughs. Archer is a mysterious servant. He can admit that Archer is strong in that regard, but it is unthinkable for Lancer to be going easy. The first attack was aimed at the neck to chop his head off. The second was aimed at the heart to destroy his body. He cannot be going easy. He shouldn't be, but it is certainly true that he wasn't trying to kill Archer. How does one know that this sort of fight is serious? A battle between servants is a battle between noble phantasms. The fact that he is fighting Archer without using his is proof that he is going easy on him. The reason behind it must be the thanks he heard earlier. The weapons clash harder than before. The two spring apart in a shower of sparks. The full force attack by Lancer is nullified by the full force attack by Archer. They are about 5 meters apart. It is a distance Lancer can close in an instant. The spearman in blue murmurs.
貴様、これだけの腕を持っていながらキャスターについたのか。貴様取りんならば、キャスターになぞ遅れは取るまい。
Lancer stops emitting murderous intent, but there's no opening in his stance. At that, Archer smiles a bit. Sorry?
He defeated Caster before.
True.
Oh, yeah, he did.
何を言い出すかと思えば
With a single shot, if I'm not wrong.
私は少しでも勝算の高い手段を取っただけだ。リンがどう思うと、私はこれ以外の手段はないと判断した。
He speaks confidently with no sign of guilt. The knight in red shows no regret about betraying his master.
そうかよ。尋ねた俺がバカだったぜ。
Archer agrees. Lancer snorts and slowly raises the tip of his lance.
確かにお前は戦上手だ。そのお前が取った手段ならば、せいぜいうまく立ち回るだろう。だが、それは王道ではない。貴様の剣には、決定的に誇りが欠けている。
His fighting spirit roars up. Even faced with this, the archer in red still smiles.
ああ、あいにく誇りなどない身だからな。だが、それがどうした？英雄としての名が汚れる？笑わせないでくれよ、ランサー。
Even the music stopped,
汚れ
dude.
など、
This is
成果
serious.
で洗い流せる。そんな余分なプライドはな、
Oh,
ソコイダの犬にでも。
Holy shit.
In an instant, the slightly relaxed atmosphere changes. The air freezes. The magical energy to disturb the order of the world, the demonic lance that inverts cause and effect, is raised. His murderous intent is incomparable to his previous ones, though the tension must make it difficult even to breathe.
犬と言ったな、アーチャー。
The blue-armored spearman growls in a voice that could drive the crows from the
事
battlefield.
実だ、空風林。英雄の誇りなぞ持っているのなら、今のうちに捨てておけ。
よく言った。ならば、お前が先に行け。
Holy shit.
Lancer jumps back a great distance. It is no longer a matter of thrusting his lance. There are over 100 meters between them now. Lancer leapt back to the entrance of the clearing and crouches on all fours like a beast. Archer's senses freeze. It is fear, or is it awe? Either way, Archer understands right away the meaning of Lancer's retreat. He knows that his enemy's next attack is literally a fatal attack.
ボルクの能力は効いているな、アーチャー。
Lancer, with his limbs on the ground, raises his waist. It's just like a sprinter waiting for the signal gun. He's actually going to use it properly this time, the way it's supposed to.
Let's go.
Archer has no reply to spare. The knight in red throws away his swords and immerses himself in his own mind. But will he make it? Lancer's posture, if his demonic lance is just like the legend, a noble phantasm to block it cannot be anything superficial.
行くぞ。この一撃、手向けとして受け取るがいい。
A blue panther
So that's-
runs. Even his after image is a blur. Lancer speeds to Archer like a whirlwind. There are 100 meters between them. Lancer is not going to thrust his lance using that whole distance to gain speed. The blue figure crouches. After running 50 meters in an instant, the spearman suddenly leaps up from the ground. His body flies through the air. He holds the demonic lance, said to always pierce the heart once it is thrust over his head. Space distorts. According to legend, that lance scatters numerous spearheads once it is released. In other words, the lance of causality joins with the worlds to form a tapestry of action. The spearman in blue arches his back as if drawing a bow. And he smashes down the attack with a roar.
Oh, I just wanted to see the damage.
This noble phantasm is throwing attack by nature, a lancer that never misses the heart, a cursed noble phantasm that cannot be avoided and will attack the enemy even if it misses. That is Gay Bulga, lance of destruction possessed by the hero that never lost in his lifetime. As it is hurled using all of Lancer's magical energy, it can neither be dodged nor can it be blocked. Therefore, it is fatal. There is no way for anyone to survive once they are targeted by the demonic lance.
Except Saber.
The bullet approaches. I mean, to be fair, Saber, he wasn't using the spear correctly that time. He was using it in a different way.
Fair enough.
The bullet approaches. In a split second...
But
Yeah, go ahead.
British has high luck.
That's also true. In a split second, the knight in red closes his eyes as if accepting his death. Oh, he said it.
Oh shit.
The thorn of light blazes forth, and right before the thorn of destruction from the heavens strikes Archer, its true name shakes the very air as it is spoken. The lance crashes into the shield, the lance of death that penetrates every wall and outmaneuvers any evasion. That lance has been stopped. Radiating a storm of heat, the lance of sure kill is stopped by Archer's noble phantasm. The 7 flower petals appear from empty space and shield Archer from the demonic bullet. Who would know? This shield is hiatus, the only shield said to have repelled the javelin of the great hero in the Trojan War. There are 7 barriers shaped like flower petals, and each layer is as strong as a castle wall. It is a boundary-fueled noble phantasm that is said to be invincible against projectile weapons. A thrown lance will be defeated by this shield without penetrating even one of the petals. At the very least, Archer does not know of a lance that can penetrate through this shield. But
Let me guess, Gilgamesh has it.
the Lancer of Sure Kill drills through the shields like it's nothing. The 6th petal is destroyed. Only one remains. The demonic lance reaches the 7th layer that has never been broken. The unstoppable thorn of the demonic lance. In the face of that power, with a roaring spirit, Archer puts out all of his magical energy into this noble phantasm. After landing, Lancer glares at the servant in front of him. Archer has wounds all over his body. His raised arm is barely attached. His face is strained in pain, not only from the wounds on the arm, but also from the agony in his head.
驚いたな。アイアスを貫通しうる槍がこの世にあろうとは。君のそれはオリジナルのグングニルを上回っている。
The knight in red praises the spearman in blue from the bottom of his heart. But Lancer does not hear him. His strongest attack, the attack that made him a hero, has been blocked. He is so angry that his glare should be able to kill someone, but the anger is almost erased by his wonder. This is too strange. It is true that Archer is a mysterious servant. His identity is unknown, and he carries twin swords even though he's an archer, and now he shows a shield that can even block Lancer's strongest attack. It is absurd. There is no such hero on this planet.
貴様、何者だ？
ただの騎兵だが、君の見立ては間違いではない。
Son of a bitch.
ざれ言を。騎兵が宝具を防ぐほどの盾を持つものか。
I love the fact that every single time Gilboga is used, it never hits.
Alright.
だが、
It's the lance
それも
that
この
always
ざま
hits
だ
that never hits
魔力の
them
大部分を消費し
in
た
the
という
My
entire
boy
series.
Lancer
腕をや
cannot
ら
get
れ
a single
ダ
kill
イ
in
ヤスも
this
完
war.
全に破壊された
Lancer never gets a W, man.
That's kind of fun because Gabriel says, you will definitely hit it.
Will certainly die, 100%, like no doubt. Like die for sure, but not really.
私が用いる最強の守りだったのだがな今のは
No more Roias. It's gone. Lancer only glares at Archer. Then,
それより気づいたかランサーキャスターめ存外に苦戦していると見える
Archer raises both his hands as if in surrender.
そうかよ。そうじゃねえかとは思ったけどな。
無論だ言っただろう勝率の高い手段だけを取る
とことん気に食わねえ野郎だな。
Saying so, Lancer turns his back to Archer. His work is done. His role of keeping Archer busy is meaningless now. There is no more need for him to side with Tulsakarin. So, Archer was a triple agent all along.
Okay,
The
what?
I don't know.
spearman in blue starts to walk away and lays down on the grass to wait and see. It's a very Lancer thing. It's just like, I'm just gonna take a nap.
Absolutely.
I desperately parry the oncoming fists. Kutsuki's fists are live snakes. Even if I barely dodge them, they change their paths to come bite me. That's why Saber was seriously wounded. Saber was bitten by Kutsuki's snakes because she had the reflexes to dodge them. But I don't have such reflexes. I can't dodge them, and first of all, I can't even see them. And I can't dodge them when I can't even see his fists. My shoulder. Kutsuki's fist grazed my left collarbone. It's just like a bush hammer. It feels like my shoulders are being crushed and I almost dropped my swords. I bear it and parry the fist, going for my temple using the sword in my right hand. I desperately retreat. I pitifully retreat while Kutsuki closes in, not revealing any hints of how he advanced. I shudder at his stance. I won't be able to withstand the next attack. It's miraculous that I was able to parry the attacks until now. It doesn't feel real. I hoped that I'd be able to protect myself and buy time for Tosaka until she defeated Caster, but such hope disappeared after I took the first blow. Kutsuki Soichiro took our previous battle into account. I was able to fend off Kutsuki as he attacked Tosaka back then, so I thought I'd be able to fend him off again if I had Archer's twin swords. But, in other words, it means that I won't be able to do anything without them. Kutsuki knows that, and what he did first in this battle was try to take them away from me. The sword in my right hand is destroyed. The first, strengthened with Caster's the fist, strengthened with Caster's magic, shatters my sword with a few blows. I immediately reproduce the short sword. Can't hope for high results with forced projection. A quickly prepared sword. As a result, the twin swords start to lose their precision. I can't breathe right. I frantically block Kutsuki's fist with the short swords. I just follow the twin swords, and copying Archer, Imiyashido's limbs have far exceeded the limits of his body. And then there's this headache. Something is scraped away inside of me every time I project something. It's not the sensation of using up magical energy. It feels like my precious magic circuits are disappearing one by one every time I make a sword. I'm almost all out. I might be able to make 2 more. I'll die when my magical energy runs out, but first of all, can I stay alive until my magical energy runs out? I'm flung away. Kutsuki's right fist, the fist he hadn't been using, was suddenly thrust like a lance. I shielded my chest with the blades. In that instant, my swords were destroyed and the impact flung me away. I feel something hard on my back. I must have been pushed back about 5 meters. I try to draw a breath and realize that I can't. The penetrating impact has numbed my heart. I can't breathe and I can't move. It's only for a few seconds. In the few moments it takes for my heart to resume its work, the devil approaches. This is it. This man could kill me if I dropped my guard for only a second. With me like this, he has time to do it 6 times over. I glare at the enemy. Even if my limbs won't move, there's something I can do. First of all, I'm not suited for melee combat, and Miyashido's weapon has always been his magic. Then, it's not over yet. My role is to keep Kudzuki busy. I can't give up without fulfilling my role. The sound didn't come from right in front of me. The image of the sword disappears from my mind. Kudzuki, who was approaching to twist off my neck, stops. Something is happening behind Kudzuki. It happened to Castor with the altar behind her. Another interlude. Oh shit. Tosaka is also at a disadvantage. No, her burden is greater as she fully understands the difference in their powers. Castor points her finger with a composed expression. The magic is idle, plague wind. Castor does not need to cast her magic, for a witch that lived in the age of gods, incantations are unnecessary to connect herself with the world. Castor is always surrounded by divine mysteries of ancient lore. For Castor, magic is something she commands. It is just like ordering her guard dog to attack. She nullifies it with her treasured jewel. She does not have the time to cast a spell, and she cannot match Castor with a simple magic from the Magic Crest. Their skills as magi are as far apart as heaven and earth. To bridge that gap, she must use that power that she has spent a long time gathering, crystallization of magical energy that she has stored since she was born as a magus. For this battle, she is prepared to use all 9 jewels remaining from the original 10.
けなげに頑張ること。そんな奥の手があるとは思わなかったわ、お嬢さん。
It's like 9 seconds.
Yeah. Even though her magic is nullified by pure magical energy, Castor keeps her smile. She can continue using magic indefinitely, while the girl must oppose Castor using jewels as amplifiers. The difference between them is self-evident. No matter how many jewels she might have, it cannot be more than 10 or 20. There is no way Castor can be defeated with such a small arsenal. She nullifies the electric charge with the 7th jewel. She has 6 jewels left. With 6 more spells from Castor, her last resort will be exhausted.
あら、綺麗に防ぎ切るのね。本当にけなげ。自分だけ守っていれば石を使い切ることもないでしょうに。
She does not react to the giggling voice and takes out another jewel to get ready for the next attack. As Castor says, the jewel will not break if she uses it to protect only herself. The jewel should be able to protect her about 3 times. She cannot do that. Castor's magic covers the whole temple once it is cast. Kudzuki should be protected by Castor, but he's an exception. If she cannot nullify Castor's spell before it's completed, Miyashido, who is keeping Kudzuki Soichiro busy, will burn and die. Therefore, it is meaningless to protect just herself. She cannot allow him to die like that, and besides, the whole plan revolves around Shido keeping Kudzuki busy.
まだ守りきるつもり？大した信念ですけど、それもいつまで持つかしらね。
It's kind of
受けて
funny
ばかりでは
that
結果は見えていてよ、お嬢さん。
Shiro and Tosaka are against basically 2 servants.
Yeah.
One of them isn't a servant, but he could battle against Saber, so he's
He pretty much is a
capable.
servant. He's brawler.
Yeah.
Castor moves her finger. Sorry. She makes the first move this time. Her jewels will run out and she'll be killed if she keeps defending. Castor magic and her jewels. The magical energy contained in them is the same, so it means that she can beat Castor if she makes the first move. But there is no way to exceed Castor's spellcasting. If Tosaka-rin is the fastest because she can perform magic directly by releasing the jewels, Castor is also the fastest as she is capable of creating divine mysteries with one word. There is no first move in their battle. This is merely a clash of power against power. The first one to run out of magical energy will die. Then...
If that's... Oh shit. If that's true, I think if Tosaka, if she still had that pendant that she gave to Shiro, I think she could win this fight. You know?
Oh my god, the German. She just needs to force her way through. She unleashes a barrage of jewels to penetrate Castor's magical energy. Jewels 5, 3, and 4 are released in succession. Moreover, she uses the treasured 4th jewel to add a synergistic effect. This magic is beyond her limits. You can't use the magic surpassing your own level. The one who said so is breaking the rule to execute this attack. The attack will destroy not only the temple, but the whole church if Castor doesn't defend against it. But the witch in purple blocks it like nothing. No, she did not just nullify it. Castor has swallowed all of her magical energy inside of her robe. Tosaka stands there in astonishment. Behind her, she can hear the sounds of his defeat, sounds of breaking swords and his body slamming against the wall. The match is about to be settled. She has nothing she can do and her body sways. She staggers forward as if overwhelmed by despair.
これで終わり？まだ手持ちの宝石はあるのでしょ？諦めずになくなるまで試してみたら？
She has no spirit to answer her. No matter how many jewels she may have, that was her greatest attack. If even that attack is useless, then she cannot hurt Castor even if she has 100 jewels.
そう。ようやく理解したようね。何をしようが私にはかなわないと。けれど楽しくはあったわ、お嬢さん。ええ。それだけでもあなたに価値を与えましょう。
She stops herself from falling, holds in her nausea with her hand, and glares at Castor.
悔しい？けれどこれが現実よ。むしろ誇りなさい。遊んであげたとはいえ、あなたはこの私に魔術戦をさせたのだから。
Saber is just watching everything, right?
Yeah.
She's just there.
She's just there. Then Castor points at her, as if to pronounce her death sentence.
消えなさい。あの坊やが私のマスターに倒されるのは時間の問題。その前に。
That's not true.
こちら。
No.
Castor slowly whispers her death. That opening. She has been waiting for this. She only needs to say one phrase to release it. She hangs her head and smiles as she murmurs. I doubt my own eyes for a second. Tosaka and Castor, their battle of magic has ended with Tosaka's defeat. She slowly staggered forward as if asking for Castor's forgiveness, and Castor released her magic to finish her off. At that instant, Tosaka nullified the magic. That's fine. That's not surprising. The surprise came after that. Tosaka charged in and attacked Castor. Tosaka throws herself into hellfire. Nullifying the magic and using it as cover, she attacks Castor. Castor's surprise is that of a Magus. She could not have predicted that a Magus defeated in magic would attack with bare hands. But we remember that Tosaka can strengthen her limbs, because she did that to us last time. I didn't expect it either, so it must be like heresy for Castor, who is an excellent Magus. And it's not just some desperate move. Tosaka closes in and hits Castor in the chest with a move from Chinese martial arts, learned from Kirei, no doubt. A shattering sound. Tosaka's fist must be strengthened like Hudsuki's, as her attack easily penetrates Castor's defense. She's got Castor bleeding!
I have one thing to say about this.
Do it.
How the fuck Cassie doesn't have a magic defense in her body or something like it? She doesn't have magic.
I guess she wasn't expecting to throw hands with Tosaka.
Whatever.
I'm fascinated by her combination. Tosaka drops after the first kick. Putting her hands on the floor, she sinks below Castor's knees. To Castor, who lacks any experience in hand-to-hand combat, it must look like Tosaka disappeared. She executes a strong sweep, the classic Street Fighter move. She lashes out her feet with all her might, as if to cut off Castor's legs. Her feet swept beneath her. Castor lands on her back. But it doesn't end. After the sweep, Tosaka gets up with her back turned to Castor, uses the turning momentum to attack with her elbow, and Ooh, stopping her turning, Tosaka punches with all her weight. Castor's body is knocked away. Taking the punch directly, she is smashed into the wall like me. Damn, dude. With her back to the wall, Castor moans dizzily. Look at that face. They're separated. Tosaka kicks the ground to cover the few meters in between them. The match is settled. Castor cannot move and her wound seems fatal. The battle only lasted a moment. The match is decided within 5 seconds after I was smashed into the wall by Kudzuki. Castor doesn't have the energy to fight back. Tosaka runs to her with saber-like speed and executes her finishing blow. Strengthening of a few seconds using magic. Tosaka intended to fight Castor like this from the start. Castor only saw Magus in Tosaka. She challenged Castor at magic so that she could achieve her one-time surprise attack. And the plan worked. Castor has been deceived and has lost completely. Tosaka has won the battle. Yes.
With 9 years.
Not for that man's monstrous ability. If Tosaka ran to Castor like a hurricane, he ran like the devil's wind. Tosaka stops. Kudzuki Soichiro, the one who was in front of me until now, is standing in front of Castor. Tosaka moves. The instant she feels death, jumps back and shields herself. Kudzuki's attack that blew me away strikes Tosaka in the face. She guarded her face with both her arms and jumped back, but she still sent flying. Tosaka smashes into the wall opposite me, her arms dangling as if broken. He speaks plainly, but that's not Tosaka's fault. The reason she lost her chance is because of me. If I had kept Kudzuki busy, Tosaka would have been beaten Castor. This is my fault. My weak fighting skills were unable to stand up to Kudzuki's ability, and our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was lost. Castor regains consciousness. Protected by Kudzuki, she looks around the temple. This is it. The surprise attack won't work on Castor anymore. Tosaka's tired, and I can only project 2 more swords. If Castor uses her in this situation, we will never make it out of here alive.
感謝しますわ、マスター。あなたがいなければ、あのまま倒されていました。
CXIII、今はセーバーを起こせ。
Man, I think this man is a servant.
ええ、的確な判断ですわ、マスター。
Castor points to the woman on the altar, the visible binding of the curse, and when Castor tries to release it, above me, I hear a soft voice from the stairs leading up. It is Castor that notices the strange event first. Kudzuki doesn't. It is because he cannot detect magical energy. She moves. Above her master, above Kudzuki Soichiro's head, are floating numerous swords.
Oh, there's Geb over there.
She must have figured out that her injuries will prevent her from blocking them with magic. Castor uses her body to protect her master. Oh, wait a second, what? The murmuring voice from above says those words.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
The sounds end. The swords appearing in midair, come down at one target and pierce one body. The numerous blades rip and tear the meat, then disappear like an illusion. What's left are traces of blood. Having become his shield of her own free will, she now turns her bloody body to the man behind her. Kudzuki is silent. In front of him is the skewered servant. Maybe there's no need to hide it now. The robe is removed from her head, and the woman walks over to her master with a bare face. Her body is collapsing. With a dying body, the woman looks up at her master, who has not twitched a brow. Her slender figure runs, her slender fingers run across the expressionless face. Her voice seems clear. There is no change in Kudzuki. He only answers with a simple yes and does not even look at Castor. She looks as if it's fine. No, the woman smiles, knowing that what kind of man he is. The fingers running along his cheek fall down. Beginning at her toes, Castor's body is disappearing. She smiles at the simple answer. She smiles as if seeing a short-lived dream. The witch collapses as if going to sleep. The purple robe falls. The robe without its wearer fades and disappears as if following her. Kudzuki does not even look at her. His attention is focused on the man above, the murderer, the knight in red, who should be above me. I get a headache. It's not just because of abused projection. The muttered spell, the spell he said, is mashing against my brain with nausea. Trace on. That's what he said. He said the exact words of the spell that shouldn't be used by anybody else but me. Archer comes down the stairs and stands in the temple. Tosaka is watching him in surprise. Archer does not answer. He is only watching his enemy, Kudzuki. Man, fuck this guy. Archer shows no guilt even though he has betrayed Castor in front of us. Kudzuki does not change his tone even in front of a betrayer. He still has the will to fight. He is not a magus and he has lost Castor, but he has the will to continue fighting. He readies himself. As Castor is gone, Kudzuki's strength must have dropped substantially. His snake is still there, but Castor's strengthening has made his fists into steel gone. But still, Kudzuki faces Archer like before. Archer readies his twin swords. Their duel has begun. Is that alright? Kudzuki said he has no interest in the Holy Grail. A master in name only, he merely went along with Castor. And there's no reason for him to fight now that Castor's gone, unless that's something special, you know?
Maybe he has feelings. Or maybe he has some objective.
I glare at them, gritting my teeth against the pain. Kudzuki narrows his eyes a bit.
It's kind of funny to see this robotical man acting. I think it's by emotion.
Yeah.
He didn't show anything when Castor died. Don't know if he was shocked. He just said, yeah.
I think he was angry. Because he wasn't looking at Castor because he was looking at Archer. Right? He was glaring with that intense fury of his.
But he doesn't express it. He just acts normally. Yeah.
That's all the reason he has.
But still very weird.
The battle starts. I mean, he is a psychopath, as we have established before. So maybe he has a little trouble expressing his emotion. The battle should end in one blow. Even if Kudski has superhuman fighting abilities, he's fighting a servant. Can't be a match just by being superhuman. Even though this is called a battle, it is actually just disposal of the loser.
We have Shiro and Rin that are not strengthened by a servant, but they can bet against a servant.
The fate of the loser is the battle between masters to kill and be killed. And that is the end they have to be ready for. One shouldn't fight at all if he can't accept that. But still, we have a choice.
So what do you think, Mapo and Boomer?
Still here.
What's
Yeah,
wrong with stopping
Baldo?
them if I can?
1 for 1. What do you say, Boomer?
Can I make a quick pause?
Yeah. We're back. So we have 1 for what's wrong with stopping them if I can.
And what Boomer said?
Boomer, what do you say? Do we try to stop Archer?
Unlimited, what did you say?
I say nothing.
Oh, so go ahead and say. Maybe my vote will be useless.
I don't have anything to say.
The price pivots on you, Boomer. I mean, the idea is that we should, stop the violence if we can. But if Archer's committed, who knows, right? If Kudski's committed, which he looks like he is.
Yeah,
Mapo
but
Tofu,
you tried
why
to
did
kill
you
us
choose
like 7
Mapo
times.
Tofu, why did you choose your option?
Mapo, are you around? No, I think he might not be.
But the option that Mapo chose was what's wrong with stopping them if I can.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go with what good is stopping them. Just so Unlimited will have the choice.
What do you say, Unlimited?
No. I say nothing. It's 2 against 1. Even if I chose the...
No. He chose the other one.
Oh.
Yeah.
You chose the other one?
Yes.
Let's go with the one that we will help the guy that tried to kill us 3 times.
Okay. What's wrong with stopping them then?
Okay.
But still, what's wrong with stopping them if I can? If I can save him, is it wrong to want to prevent his death if I can? I don't care if I'm called soft-hearted. I know that it's just hypocrisy. To defeat another master means killing them. We fought, prepared to kill each other. I know how unfair it is to stop them now. But still, I decided to fight so that I could save people. I can't ignore a life that can be saved.
やめろ。勝負はついた。これ以上は。
I suppress my headache and try to stop them. At that instant, Kudski moves. He must have taken my voice as a signal, as he rushes Archer in a flash and lashes out at his temple. Any ordinary man would have his skull crushed, but Archer does not dodge it. His head moves from the impact. The knight in red takes Kudski's blow and pierces Kudski Soichiro's chest at the same time. There's only silence. Nobody says anything, and I have nothing to say in any case. Kudski Soichiro is dead. He was silent until the very end, and he died on the path he chose without showing regret or hope. I have a headache. Is my magic circuit compressing my nerves, or can I not forgive Archer for killing Kudski? Or am I pissed at myself for not having the right to say anything to him? I can't tell, and my headache only gets worse. I turn around at the sound. With Castor's disappearance, the bonds must have broken. Saber is on the floor in front of the altar. Saber painfully breathes on the floor. That makes me forget about my headache. I run to her. Even the short distance is an annoyance.
Shiro.
She raises her head. Saber sighs in relief as she sees me run to her and... She tackles me with her shoulders and pushes me away. She pushes me forcefully to the side. My body flies for a few meters and lands on the ground. I land on my back. I shake my confused head and look up. At that instant, I hear steel hitting steel. Saber is there, fully armored, and numerous swords lie on the floor right where I was standing before Saber tackled me.
Archer immediately pulls the what is the knife on the back? That is the expression?
Yep. He says in a bored voice.
Cheating and betrayer, little bastard.
Quadruple agent? Saber.
By that point, quadruple agent.
Yeah, Saber, who can barely keep her body standing and glares at Archer. Oh my. Yeah, I don't even need to ask why she's glaring at him. He shot those swords from behind to kill me. Saber saw that and instantly pushed me away. Tosaka watches him in astonishment, and Saber readies her sword while breathing heavily. Their situations are different, but they both have wonder in their eyes. Why is Archer trying to kill Emiya Shiro when Castor's dead already? The only calm ones are Archer and I. It's not that surprising. We hated each other from the start. We opposed each other and unable to get along. I don't know why, but I just cannot approve of him. The reason behind it, if that is really the reason for us not being able to approve of each other, it is natural for him to want to kill me. I got up. Saber must have been desperate. She tackled me without holding back, so I can't breathe properly. That just makes me more determined. This is all she could manage when she tackled me with all her might. She doesn't have enough power left in her even to fight me. It's suicidal for her to confront Archer in such a state.
By the way, Saber doesn't have anymore the binding with Shiro.
No, she doesn't. She's a free servant at the moment.
So, what's exactly making her?
She still has magical energy left.
Oh, so
she's burning
not
through
exactly
that. Yeah.
going to disappear. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she can't
she's
last
not going
too
to
long,
disappear.
but she's still got something going. Tosaka draws near Archer. It's natural. Archer switched to Castor's side to attack her by surprise. Now that it succeeded, there's no reason for him to attack me.
芝居はもう終わりでしょ。キャスターは倒したんだから、もう勝手な真似は許さないわよ。
許さない？わからないな。なぜ私が許されなければならないのだ？私。
はーちゃん。
お前との契約は切れている。自由になった私が。
Do remember, Castor has about a week's worth of free action on his belt. So he can survive just fine.
Doesn't he need a master to win the war?
No. Not necessarily, no. He has independent action. I mean, I guess he needs a master to claim the Grail, but that's dubious.
Yeah.
Because it's the servant that claims the Grail, not the master.
I guess.
After staring up at the night in astonishment, Tosaka gasps in sudden realization.
まさか、あーちゃん。
私は私の目的のためだけに行動だが、そこにお前がいてはいささか面倒。
Tosaka jumps back. She gets away from Archer, tries to run towards me, who is still on my knees, and her movement is stopped cold. A swarm of swords about 2 meters high. They pierce the ground, drawing a circle and become a circular prison. It's a circle big enough for one person to fit in, and Tosaka is trapped inside.
ここまで来て邪魔はさせん。契約が切れた今、お前にかけられた0時の縛りも存在しない。キャスターについた理由はそれだけだ。あの0時を無効にするためには、 契約を破棄せねばならなかったからな。
Turning his back to the imprisoned Tosaka, Archer starts to walk. Not towards Saber, but toward me, still on my knee.
やっぱりなんでよアーチャーあんたまだシロを殺すつもりなの？
そう。自らの手でエミやシロを殺す。
Man, I think if she
守護者となり果てた
I
俺
think if he won the Holy Grail, he would ask to kill Emishiro.
But he says he's become a guardian, which is the same situation as Saber found herself in, right? Or not necessarily. I mean, Saber already would become a hero when she died, but she chose to become a hero through a contract with the world regardless. Not necessarily, we don't know. Considering his lack of ability, maybe he was an actual guardian who contracted the world to gain power and become a hero that way while he was still alive.
And Saber is supposedly not dead. It's not a copy.
Yeah.
Let's say it.
Power returns to Saber's body. No, I mean she would also become a guardian upon her death. She musters her strength and moves between Archer and me.
アーチャーあなたはまさか。
そうだ。いつか言っていたな、セイバー。俺には英雄としての誇りがないのかと。無論だ。そんなものがあるはずがない。この身を埋めているのは後悔。俺はね、セイバー。英雄になどならなければよかったんだ。
The aggression fades from Saber. What did she figure out? Her enmity towards Archer is gone.
そういうことだ。聞いているがいい、騎士を。マスターがいないで無調すれば、すぐに消えるぞ。もはやエミやシローにはマスターの資格がない。肩入れしたところで、君の望みには届かない。
But there is
それはできない。マスターで亡くなったとしても契約は消えない。彼を守り、剣になると誓った。聖杯戦争など知らなかった彼は、それでも私の一方的な誓いに応えてくれた。
Based Saber.
そのし
She readies her invisible sword. But I don't
That's why
see
she's the best girl.
I don't see the usual valor or strength in her stance.
そうか。ならば、偽りの主ともども、ここで消えろ。
Twin swords appear in Archer's hands. Saber can't even take those swords right now. I get up and reach for Saber. Did she do it to get away from my reach? Saber pulls herself together, kicks the ground, and charges at Archer. The battle ends after a few blows. Saber, the one who overwhelmed Archer before, falls to her knees, unable to stand for even a few seconds. The sword is even in Saber's hands now. After resisting Caster's command spell for so long, she has no magical energy left. Unable even to breathe, she puts her hands on the floor, desperately trying to hold her disappearing body together. Archer raises his swords. The twin swords are swung down onto Saber. And then... I jump in front from the side and stop them using all my might. I ready my twin swords. I hold the instantly projected weapons and glare at the knight in red.
あとしばらくはおとなしくしていると思ったがな。さすがに目の前で女が殺されるのは耐えられないか。
うるさい。お前が殺したがってるのは俺だろう。なら相手を間違えるな。
If you can fight Shizuke?
I confront him. We both have twin swords in our hands. Our physiques are different, but our stances are the same in every regard.
人真似もそこまでいけば本物だ。だが、お前の体はその魔術講師に耐えられるか。
Actually, Archer, no, it can't. We're dying, bro. A sneering voice.
We just have one circle right now, if I'm not wrong.
Oh yeah.
My limit is near.
We
as
have
he says.
gesture. It's not that much, but okay.
But I genuinely once, I would really like for Shiro to just look at Archer and say, "No, I don't have stamina, but I have plot armor."
Holy shit.
My
But I'm
headache.
the main
I-
character.
I am the bone of my plot armor. My headache does not stop, and my magic circuit has its limiter full from all the projector magic. My brain will explode before I get slashed if I fight him while retaining the image of the twin swords. Oh yeah, these were his last ones. It's gone now.
Oh yeah.
前に忠告したな。お前に投影は扱えないと。分不相応の魔術は身を滅ぼす。
Man, this is a raw-ass line. You are now paying the price of the magic that has kept you alive, Emiyashiro. Archer charges in. To that, I frantically move my swords as if slashing my headache away. I swing my arms. My techniques are all a copy of my enemy's. My weapon is copied, and my technique is copied. Therefore, I cannot match him. I couldn't match him even if I were in top condition. An imitation can get close to the original but never surpass it. I could not match this man from the start. The man told me to drown in my ideals and die. The man said that my life is a false life. I could not object to those words because he was my ideal, a power to make the impossible possible, an existence that saved many people and became a heroic spirit. It was I who wanted to become such a person. That's why I can't match him. The man in front of me is the end of that road. He is my ideal, becoming strong to save people, so... My swords shatter. I was able to block his attacks, but the twin swords disappear. I can't stay conscious. My body isn't hurt, but my insides are bleeding and about to give out.
納得がいったか。それがエミヤシロウの限界だ。無理を積み重ねてきたお前にはふさわしい幕切れだろう。
He raises his sword. As I try to figure out with my dazed mind if the sword will come down from the right or left.
汝の身は我がもとに、我が命運は汝の剣に。聖杯のよるべに従い、この断りに従うのなら。
Tosaka's gallant voice echoes through the temple. That must have caught his attention. The sword slows down a bit. If that's the case...
Okay.
I can dodge it even with a body like this. I roll on the floor and get away. Archer clenches his teeth, but looks at Saber instead of pursuing me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Tosaka reaches out towards Saber from within the prison of swords. Saber runs to her using her last power and...
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A contract that should have originally been made. Saber finally obtains a master that is appropriate for her.
Holy shit.
Violent wind rages. She must have gotten back her true powers by obtaining her true master. And Saber is unlike anything she was before.
Now this is pod racing, god damn it.
I'm not the only one that has gasped. Even Archer is fascinating, rising swirls of magical energy and armor that can never be damaged. There seems to be no end to this overwhelming power. This is Saber, the heroic spirit of the sword set to be the strongest servant.
もとよりリンと再契約させるつもりだったが、いささか手順が違ってきたか。
Archer murmurs while looking at Saber. He must not have enough to spare to pay attention to me now.
それで、どうするセイバー？リンと契約した以上、君は本当にエミヤシロウとは無関係になったわけだが。
言ったはずです、アーチャー。素人の誓いはなくならないと。
Oh, Saber is firm. Archer clucks his tongue and grips his twin swords again.
There's a little weird position for Saber. A servant of two masters will always go wrong. One cannot serve two masters.
あなたこそどうするのです、アーチャー。
Well, she's going to protect him, not serve
あ
him
なたが白
necessarily.
を手にかけるというのなら。
Yeah, but what happens
私は全
if
力で
Rin
それを
all
阻む。
decide to do it?
考え直すのなら今のうちです。今の私を相手にして勝機があるとは思わないで
She's
しょ。
even displaying it. Excalibur's right there. Saber's warning is true.
Oh yeah.
Saber would not lose even to Berserker now. No matter who he may be, Archer cannot match Saber. He should know that more than anyone, but...
たかだか魔力が戻った程度で、よくもそこまで強気になる。
Archer charges. Their weapons clash. Archer charges in at Saber like a red bullet and attacks her with all his might. Saber receives the blow like nothing. Neither the size difference nor Archer's momentum matter. Saber repels Archer's swords without flinching. He, the one who attacked, is the one who retreats. The attack made with all his strength, a blow that should not need to be repeated, is. Not only is it blocked, but his body loses balance as well. Archer steps back. There, Saber's sword attacks him like surging waves of raging fire. He can only defend against her attacks. Saber's sword will kill him if he tries to counter. No, first of all, he doesn't even have anything to spare for a counterattack. The only resistance Archer is allowed is to block Saber's attacks until he runs out of energy. And that should not take long. The magical energy in Saber's sword scrapes away Kancho and Bakuya with each attack. The twin swords cannot take any more, and Archer's arms should be powerless by now. The match is settled rather quickly. Archer falls to one knee, unable to stand against Saber's assault. She swings down her sword as if to finish him off. He blocks it by crossing his twin swords in front of him. The battle is at an end. Even though he blocked Saber's blow, Archer's cannot move. Saber's sword will split his head in two if he loosens his power on the twin swords. Archer puts power into his arms to stop Saber's blow. Sweat forms on his forehead and he's breathing hard. In contrast, Saber's breathing is normal. It is impossible for Archer to beat Saber in hand-to-hand combat.
ここまでです、アーチャー。
You might have... Oh. I don't know why the voice line didn't play there.
先ほど私の身を案じていましたが、それはあなたにも言えることだ。キャスターを倒すためにあれだけの宝具を使った今、魔力は残り少ないはずです。加えて、この世にとどまるためのマスターもいない。魔力の供給もままならない。今な。
それこそ余計な世話だ、セイバー。アーチャーのサーバントにはマスターがおらずとも単独で存在する能力がある。マスターを失ったとしても2日は存命できよ
う。
バカな。まだそんなことを言うのですか。あなたの望みは聖杯ではなく、白を殺すことだとでも。
Archer doesn't answer. His cold eyes stare at the troubled Saber.
アーチャー、あなたの望みは間違っている。なぜそのような結末を望むのですか。そんなことをしてもあなたは。
That's a good question.
Will not be saved. Saber bites her lips and stops herself from saying so. Yep.
He didn't have any chance against Saber. So why he did all of this?
間違えているか。
The muscles on Archer's arms bulge. He looks at Saber
それは
once.
こちらのセリフだ、セイバー。君こそいつまで間違った望みを抱いている。
He says so with eyes staring far away. Saber's sword loosens up. Using that opening, Archer gets up and kicks Saber with his freed leg. Even though she's knocked back, Saber lands gracefully. The situation hasn't changed at all. She's protecting me and facing Archer, who has Tosaka trapped within a cage of swords behind him. The distance between them is 5 meters again.
分かりきっていたことだが、やはり剣技では及ばぬか。
The twin swords disappear, and he confronts Saber unarmed.
アーチャー、剣を捨てたということは、戦いを収める気に。
まさか。君こそ思い違いはよせ。俺はアーチャーだぞ。もとより、剣で戦うものではない。
With those words,
I'm born of my soul.
he begins the spell in a voice I cannot hear.
やめろ、アーチャー。私は。
セイバー、いつか、お前を解き放つ者が現れる。それは今回ではないようだが、おそらくは次も、お前と
A connection with you next time.
私なのだろうよ。
Hmm.
Maybe another route?
A known to death, a known to life.
I love this.
His spell echoes through the temple. There's no change. A long spell like that should affect the surroundings. Magic influences the world, but his spell does not affect the world, but
だ
instead...
が、それはあくまで次の話。今の俺の目的は、エミやシロを殺すことだけだ。それを阻むのならば、この世界は、お前が相手でも容赦は
But
せぬ。
there is something that doesn't make sense because Archer had other opportunity to kill Shiro, and they were
Well, he was
bad.
playing the long game.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't make any sense. If it had one objective, it was like to kill Shiro.
Archer was pretty much always either bent by Tosaka's command spell or in not exactly the easiest situation with Caster, and at the same time wanting to use Shiro and Tosaka to guarantee that Caster would not be a problem when...
Also, do remember that he wanted to let Rin take Saber after he killed Shiro. So he probably was trying to keep everything in a way that Rin could still win the war.
That sounds very stupid, but okay.
Well, yeah, he wanted to let Rin win the war. Maybe he had some sort of emotional attachment to her that we don't understand. Just like we don't understand why he knows things about Saber's wish, for instance, which he shouldn't. It's more complicated than it looks. You know? He raises his...
Go a final blow in the beginning when he arrived in the battle. It was Caster and Cusick and everyone. He could just, just...
Well, he couldn't do that because then there would be no chance of Rin winning against Caster at all.
I know, but there was time to Archer do it because he bet against he won against Caster basically, and there was a little time that he could kill Shiro in the meantime of Saber being of Dan's freeing Saber. I gonna say it. Of Saber turning back again.
I don't know, man. I think it was all within his very convoluted... I mean, to be fair, his plan is very convoluted by itself. Archer is a guy that makes a lot of weird mistakes. We'll find that out as we read more. It's part of his character. So...
No, but... Yeah, I know, but he has some openings to do it, you know?
He
had
does.
the chance.
Sure. But that's beside the point. That's for later. He raises his left arm. Does that complete his spell?
Unlimited blade works.
He said the root name.
He
clearly speaks out and changes the world. Fire runs. It runs across the floor and looks like a white line. Is the surrounding fire a boundary line? The color of fire fills my vision and paints the temple. After that, my surroundings are replaced by this strange world. Pain fills my brain. I can tell. I understand what this magic is, what this absurdity is. I shouldn't be able to understand, but I can tell that what this is whether I want to or not. And that makes my brain boil. In short, this is a steel manufacturing factory, burning fire and turning cogwheels. A field of swords without owners extends to the horizon of the desert. All the swords in the ground are famous. Kancho and Bakuya originally came from this world. An almost infinite projection of weapons. Innumerable weapons make this place seem like a waste yard. The Knight in Red reigns at the center of this kingdom of rubble. King of nothing.
King of Swords.
Confused voice.
Unlimited works.
Yep.
Inside the illusionary fire that is not even hot, she watches the night in blank amazement. Something that Rin foreshadowed in the prologue. She was talking about reality marbles in the all the way back, first episode.
つまりあんたは剣士でもなければ弓兵でもなくて
そう生前英霊となる前は
We found
魔
it.
術師だったというこ
We
と
found the rule
Oh boy.
of Archer.
Hosaka sounds disinterested. Could it be? Did she already know Archer's true
で
identity?
はアーチャーあなたの宝具は
そんなものはない。私は政権も魔剣も持ってなどいなかったからな。俺が持ち得るのはこの世界だけだ。宝具が英霊のシンボルだというのなら、この魔術こそが俺の宝具。武器であるのならば、オリジナルを見るだけで複製し、貯蔵する。それが。
Saber gasps. She looks with blank amazement at the extending graveyard of swords in the desert, the ashen sky and steel wasteland devoid of all
これ
life.
があなたの世界だというのか。
そうだ。試してみても構わんぞ、セイバー。お前の政権。確実に複製してみせよう。
私の政権その正体を知って言うのかアーチャー。
もちろん。あれほどのものになると完全な複製はできぬが、となればどうなる？政権同士が衝突したとき、周りの人間は生きていられるか
な。アーチャー、あなたは。
そういうことだ。間違っても政権を使うな、セイバー。
Damn.
使えば
Deadlock.
俺も抵抗せざるを得ない。その場合、消えるのは我々ではなく、周りの人間だ。お前のことだ。自身を犠牲にしてもそこの小僧を守るだろう。俺とて政権など投影しては自滅する。となれば、生き残るのは一人だけ。それではあまりにも意味がない。
Wait a minute.
Archer. Yep.
Wait a minute. Can Archer do projection magic?
Yes. That's what
Yeah.
he's been doing all along.
Mm.
A very good version of it. Different.
Did you
from-
say that he made gay Bogan? Boomer. Did you see it?
I mean, I think that was just reusing the image that Gilgamesh used. So maybe you shouldn't think too hard about that, the visual aspect of it. But he can, if he wanted to. He could replicate a noble phantasm, as he just said. Even
But
Excalibur,
he
though powered
doesn't-
down.
But he said that complex noble phantasms are hard to replicate.
Hard to replicate and take a lot of power that he
Not-
might not have.
So he pretty much has a nerfed version of Gates of Babylon.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're all replicas, so they're presumed to be weaker than the originals. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Archer raises his left arm. The swords behind him float up one by one.
抵抗はするな。運が良ければ即死することもない。ことが済んだ後、お前のマスターに癒してもらえ。
Archer points to Saber. The numerous swords point towards Saber. All of these weapons are sure to
かわす
kill.
のもいいが、その場合、背後の男は諦めろ。
And he gives the command. The numerous swords are shot. Saber does not move. She confronts them, intending to deflect all the weapons using her sword, even prepared for her own death.
トレース。
I can't think because of my headache. My magic circuit can only handle one more projection. My insides are burned up and almost melted, but such concerns vanished when I saw this world. Before I realize it, I have jumped up, run to Saber, and am glaring at the annoying swords.
ダメだ早く
I don't care. For now, the oncoming 18 swords, analysis of all of them cannot be completed with my eyes alone, so my senses run wild and go past the fastest speed, go faster and faster and faster. They approach. Something like a cocking hammer goes down in my head. I stick out my left arm. I have no doubts. I've copied him so many times. If there's nothing wrong with the theory,
じゃねえ
There's no way I can't reproduce the rain of swords in front of me. Broken pieces fly around. When I open my eyes, his reality marble has disappeared. The only things there are the broken pieces of swords and a hellish nausea, as if my organs have come up to the throat.
Rip the can.
After glaring at me in disgust, he takes out Tosaka from the cage of swords and restrains her. Tosaka struggles to get away from Archer. What did he do? Archer places his hand on Tosaka's neck and renders her unconscious.
Where's this Saber?
And he leaves the temple. Presumably Saber is caring for Shiro right now. With Tosaka in his arms, Archer jumps to the stairs leading up.
どこに行く気ですアーチャー
これ以上邪魔の入らないところだ。俺は今ので魔力切れだしな。お前に守られた小僧を仕留めるだけの力はない。
リンを連れて行くのは人質ですか
What the fuck?
いや、交換条件だ。これが俺の手元にある限り、そこの小僧は俺を追わざるを得まい。
But Saber
加えて、
is faster.
So
お前のマスターになったら、
he's your hostage.
いかにお前
No,
が
but
小僧を
this
守
does
る
make sense because Saber is
Masterの命が
faster
変え
than
てない。
Archer.
Well, Archer has stated that he can defeat Saber. He can't defeat her and keep the other two people alive. So, he also has Dean literally in his arms. And presumably
that's
his hands on her neck. So, all it takes is one closing of the hand to
Yeah,
break her neck.
She is his hostage.
There isn't really any sort of attack that
But-
Saber can do that won't place Dean in mortal
but-
danger.
But I wanted to imply against it, but it makes sense that Saber won't rush it against him.
I bear my nausea. I strain my fainting mind and listen to what he has to say. And I say so with a shaken throat, not even able to look up.
何
だから郊外の森だ。そこに使われていない城がある。あそこだ。
シロ
俺に文句があるんだろう。いいぜ、聞いてやる。言いたいことがあるのはこっちだって同じなんだ。
That's a way to put it. My vision flickers. Even as I speak, I feel sick, as if in another dimension.
郊外の森。そうか。アインツベルンの城があったな。確かに。あの城ならば邪魔は入るまい。いい覚悟じゃないか、エミヤシロ。
うるさい。そんなことより。
I don't want to hear meaningless things. If I do hear them, I won't be able to hold this nausea in, and I might vomit out my
それ
organs.
まで遠坂に手を出してみろ。その時はセイバーの手を借りてでも
Whoa.
殺してやる。
I make this oath. I violently scratch my forehead, tearing off the skin in an attempt to silence my headache.
よかろう。場所を指定した見返りだ。一日は安全を保証してやる。だが急げよ。マスターがいない今、俺とて時間がない。その前にお前を殺せないとあらば、腹いせに人質を手にかけかねんから。
Fuck you, Archer. Leaving an annoying laugh, Archer disappears. I slump to the floor, unable to keep my eyes on him.
シロ無茶をしていくらあなたでもアーチャーと同じ投影をするのは早すぎます
An arm comes and supports me as I start to fall.
セイバー、遠坂取られちまった。
I suppress my headache and manage to get up.
シロそれはいいのですリンは無事だアーチャーもリンには手を出さないでしょうそれより今はあなたの方が危ないリンのことは私に任せてシロは家で休息を取るべきです
いや、そんな暇は。
I try to finish, but I start to faint. Damn. I can't even complain, huh?
話は後で聞きます。今はあなたを家に連れて帰る。いいですね、シロ。
I don't even get to object. Saber supports me and starts to walk the stairs.
Okay. Hey, Zevlen.
Yep.
And this should be it.
Yeah, I think so.
I just wanna show that Saber has changed. Master Tosakarina.
Yeah, what is? Oh my
Jesus Christ,
god!
look at her. Look at her stats.
Stats A B B A plus A
And
plus
it's
plus.
illegal.
What
That's illegal. Just by the way,
These are some
wow, Saber is
else
a
with
short
A
Versus
plus
Berserker
plus.
stats.
What? No, let's go back. You go back to Saber, please.
Magic resistance A.
154. 154. She's not tall at all.
No, she's tiny.
She's a small little stack of a servant. Jesus Christ.
Can you put it
A
on the
plus, A
Gilgamesh?
plus, plus.
Gilgamesh? Oh, okay.
Gilgamesh
Oh,
has
it's
worse
X.
stats across the board except for Noble Phantasm.
Hey. He has Shinji as his master. Let's
True.
take a break with him. This is literally one of the worst possible masters, and he still has BBA and EX.
That's true.
And
That's how strong
for
he is.
Archer, we still don't know the ranking of his Noble Phantasm, but we do not have its name out here. I guess we haven't seen it in its full power yet. We do know now that he has Magic C-, knowledge of Orthodox magic, and Mind's Eye True. I think we had this, we knew this before. Calm
By
analysis
the
of
way,
the situation.
there's anything new in Caster's
I don't
profile?
think so. True name Medea, we had that before. Her stats before. Oh, we have the description, which is 7 pages long, so we might read that next time. I'm gonna say
Yeah, probably.
we have to. You guys have to remind me of doing that. We already read
Gilgamesh! Oh!
Gilgamesh's. We don't have anything on anybody else. Lancer, we have already read back in the Fate route.
No, yeah, because it had a wise up, so it looks like there's something new, but
No, it's just because we haven't checked this before in this route.
Okay.
oh yeah, makes sense.
But we'll check Caster's details next time around.
And
And
Gilgamesh.
another thing, now Assassin is also dead by proxy.
Should be, yeah.
So
Gilgamesh
now
we've
we
already
have
read also in the
Caster.
Fate route.
So now Caster is out, Assassin is out, Berserker is out, Rider is out.
It's only Saber,
Yeah.
Lancer, Archer, the knight classes. Also, Lancer's gone.
Gilgamesh.
So, what gives? And maybe we'll meet him again.
Yes.
4 out of 7. 4 out of 8.
Maybe he'll get to kill someone with Gale Boga finally.
Wouldn't that be
Maybe
great?
someday. Maybe in FGO.
Yeah, maybe in Hala Ataraxia. I think he gets a kill with at least one kill with Gaybolga. So that's exciting. So yeah, many things happened this episode. Finally, Saber has a master, but then she passed out and isn't around anymore. So
Not only does she have a master, she has possibly the best master.
yeah, her stats got a real glow up. So
Tosek is the most servant.
What?
Tosek is the most inserted.
That is true. She's very strong. She did beat the fuck out of Castor with her hands, which is kind of fucking awesome. So that was a cool time.
It's the strategy and the strategy that she uses and the power she has on herself that she trained the Joes show.
Yep. So this was it. next time we're gonna see some other crazy shit happen, and hopefully that won't be 2 months from now. So yeah, episode over.
Bye.
Bye bye.